You may all know the story of the frog getting slowly boiled in a pot. If you put a frog into a boiling pot, then it'll leap out immediately. But if you slowly raise the temperature, the frog will get used to the temperature and then get boiled to death. Before we mock the frog in this story, we should look over ourselves to see whether we are like that as well. All people have a tendency to settle down in what they're used to. So even when some danger is gradually approaching, they tend not to respond right away. For example, even when people realize that their job will disappear in a few years, they tend to remain at their job rather than prepare for something new. Why is it so? It's because they don't know what's going to happen, so they're afraid. Also, there is a risk of losing even what they have if they try something new. So when we try something new, most people become busy saying that it'll not work. However, a small number of people find a way to make it work and become pioneers. We Christians must become pioneers in our own stations. We have to find a way while praying to God. What kind of attitude should we have for us not to settle down and find a breakthrough? I like to suggest the attitude of, if I lose it, I'll lose it, and if I die, then I die, which we can find in the Bible. The first phrase was spoken by Jacob. He faced a severe famine, and after hearing that there was grain in Egypt, he sent his sons there to buy some. At the time, his son Joseph was prime minister, but Jacob had no idea. And Joseph intentionally imprisoned Simeon, one of his brothers, and told his other brothers that he would release him only if they would bring Benjamin. When Jacob heard this, not knowing that it was Joseph, he said that he could never send Benjamin. He couldn't lose another son. However, they ate all the grain that they brought from Egypt. Their family would eventually starve to death. Eventually, Jacob made a decision to send Benjamin, and he said this, "May God bestow favor. However, if I lose my son, then I lose him." This was a confession of faith. He desperately sought God's grace and did his best, but at the same time, he left the results up to God. He trusted in God even if things would not go as he wanted. Jacob showed great faith when he wrestled an angel, but his faith grew even more as time went on. The second phase, "If I die, I die," is a confession by Esther, who became queen of the Persian Empire. Haman, who was a high official, devised a plan to kill all the Jews. Esther's cousin Mordecai pleaded with her to stop Haman's scheme, and told her that maybe she became queen for that purpose, to save the Jews. At the time, if anyone approached the king without his permission, they would be put to death. But Esther decided to risk her own life by going to him without his permission. She asked the Jews to fast and fasted herself, and then she approached the king. When her people faced imminent destruction, she didn't stand by idly, thinking that she herself would be spared because she was queen. She trusted in God's goodness even if she were to die, and then acted. These two confessions mean that we will do our best, but at the same time, we will trust in God no matter the final result. We can find courage when we see that even the risks that are facing us are in God's hands. Also, we should earnestly plead with God for our needs and wants. but at the same time realize that even if God does not grant our prayer request, He is still very, very good. If we can do that, then we can overcome our fears and try for new things. God can teach us through our failures and also turn the table for us. We must remember that everything is up to God, and because of that, we should focus on God above everything else. If we can do that, God will lead us on a good and straight path.
Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. I'm tired, I'm weak, I'm lost. Through the storm, through the night, lead me on to the light. Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me home. When my way grows drear, precious Lord, linger near. When my light is almost gone, hear my cry, hear my call, hold my hand lest I fall. Precious Lord, take my hand, let me home. Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. I'm tired, I'm weak, I'm lost. Through the storm, through the night, lead me on to the light. Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on. When my way grows drear, precious Lord, linger near. When my light is almost gone, hear my cry, hear my call, hold my hand lest I fall. Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me home.